Hi everyone, in today's video I'm going to show you how this polish lasted. So we used the Super Gel by Rimmel London with the Super Gel top coat, and this is 7 days. Okay, so actually it lasted very well. Mind you, my mom's nails are quite healthy, so the chipping just started today or yesterday, and the reason why it chipped on these two nails is because there was this nail has a bit of a damage, so it usually splits here. You can see that there was a damage here, and also this one was kind of splitting a little bit. But other than that, the shine is not the best after so many days, but really there is barely any free edge wear, so it's quite good. Same thing with the thumbs. There is a little bit of bubbling, so I don't know what happened there. To figure out the top coat, this one as well. So impressive, because my mom doesn't use any oils really and does a lot of dishes and cooking and everything else. So considering that, I would say this is pretty much a win. Okay, so we're gonna do a full manicure with this video. On one hand, I'm gonna use the cuticle remover, the Blue Cross, and this one I'm going to use electric file like I did last time. And for nail polish, we figured we're gonna use one of these colors, so I might just swatch this for you, and I think she wants this color. So this is More Than Nude by Catrice. So it's a new brand for me. I just picked it up yesterday at a store here, and this is the number 08 Shine Pink Like a ... and Cloudy Illusion. And I kind of used it very quickly on my nails, and they do apply very, very evenly without any streaking. So we'll see if that's the case for this manicure. And I'm going to also use the Power Gel Basecoat and Topcoat for this manicure. All right, so I'm going to first remove this polish, and I'm going to show you how I do this without making too much mess and how to remove it easily. I don't have my fancy pump acetone in pump, so I'm just going to use this little bottle. So what I'm going to do is I saturated the cotton really well, and what I did is I cut the little rounds, cosmetic rounds that are available for like, you know, €1 over here, like this, oops, into 4, and then I actually split it, each one of them, because they're quite thick, so you don't need so much cotton here. So saturate it, place it on the nail, and if you're doing this yourself, you can just do one hand at a time. And this way it comes off quite clean. We'll see if there is any staining, because I'm a little bit afraid that it might stain the nails. But we'll see. And let us know if you have a similar experience with this nail polish brand, if it works so well for you as well. Too bad they don't have a bigger selection of colors. But I'm gonna try to see if this is ready. So press down and towards you. And now I'm just gonna let it go. Especially with the red nail polish. Press down and wiggle. Press, 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 down. So you don't have to go into the nail like this, because that just makes a big mess. So whatever you didn't get, we'll get the second time around. I just do it slowly. That's why I'm showing this in real time. We'll see how this one comes off. And you can see the resistance, because sometimes if it's kind of... Okay, so this should have stayed a little bit longer. Normally on clients, I apply all the cottons on all the 10 nails, but I'm a little bit faster with the pump. So let's just kind of go back to these ones. And now with one piece, I probably will be able to clean them all. Just make sure you don't put it anywhere on the table or anything, because acetone will melt any kind of finish that you have on your table. And it will soak through any towel. Yeah, pumps are better, because That way you don't spill anything. I'm gonna try not to spill it. And just make sure you press it down, then it kind of makes a contact with the nail and then it doesn't fall off. Press down. And I like using pure acetone because it does the job much quicker. Yeah, normally I don't even ask my clients at the beginning to remove their own polish because they usually make a huge mess, especially if they just polish their nails. The polish goes like right into the skin, and then it's really, really difficult to get it off from the skin. And this one is pretty resistant to the removal. Either that or that acetone is a little bit mixed with something. I think it is. Usually pure acetone does the job a little bit better, although just this feels pretty good. Okay, it took me like 7 minutes to remove nail polish. Yeah, and after I kind of show clients how to remove polish, I ask them to remove their polish like a day before they come over to see me, because I find, so nails don't breathe obviously because they're dead, but sometimes taking a break for a day or two from a nail polish is a good idea. And that's also a good time to use any hardener or strengthener product once you remove the nail polish, and then just wear that for a day or two, just a clear coat, and then coming for a manicure, or using a lot of oil as well if your nails don't need any strengthening or hardening or anything like that. So just using a lot of oil, doing sometimes like oil treatments, it's also beneficial. Okay, so that's clean. Perfect. So I'm going to shape the nails on one hand first, apply the cuticle remover, and then shape the other. See how there is a little damage here. I often get a question, people are asking if it's okay to file back and forth, and yes it is. There is a link to the explanation why in the description box, so check it out. It's by Doug Schoon. It's on the very bottom of the description box, I think so. Just check it out. And he explains that basically what matters is the grit. So not filing with very, very coarse files, using fine files is better. So you can shorten the nails with a coarser grit, because sometimes if your nails are long, then if you're using a very fine file, it's going to take you forever to shorten them. So it's okay to shorten them with a coarser grit, but then to kind of finish, you can use a finer grit. Here we're not doing a lot of shortening, so I can use this fine file. So this file is made by Erica. There are links to that, ATA Erica, or Erica ATA. There's links to that below, and I'm going to also use electric file, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that file in a second. So now what I'm going to do is I figured this out by accident. So this is actually Blue Cross. I put it in like a small bottle so it's easy to refill. So I'm kind of going to saturate this Q-tip, and now to make sure that I don't really kind of like put it all over the skin, This has a better way of kind of applying it properly and not overdoing it, because this is a very alkaline product and it can irritate the skin a little bit. It's very liquidy, so it kind of dries very quickly. So I usually do 2 kind of applications of it. And I do very, very gentle manicures. I call them non-invasive because I believe in a slower and more gentle manicures as opposed to, so now we're gonna leave this for about a minute. I'm gonna shape this hand. I believe in much more gentle approach, and in the long run, it's a, in my opinion, better approach. Because if you just push back that skin like crazy and you cut it, initially, I guess it could look good, but the skin will just regrow and it's going to create like a callus. And then you have to keep doing it. So this way, if you keep pushing back that skin and if you keep using oil and a cream, which I recommend using the Carousel cream, and I'll show you that in a minute, at night, just even once a day. It has urea and it has salicylic acid. Just make sure you don't touch your face after that, because it might irritate the skin on your face, but a little bit around the nails, like tiny amounts, is fine. It will help that skin to be nice and elastic, and it will exfoliate the dryness and stuff as well. Okay, so I'm gonna still give it a minute. So I'm going to push back the skin very, very gently, like the living skin. That exposes the cuticle a little bit. So we're gonna do, okay, so I'm going to show you this. So this is a living skin here that I'm pushing back, and this right here is a cuticle. So we're gonna remove this cuticle, but we're not gonna cut the living skin. So after 3 manicures, we'll see which method is a little bit more effective, maybe. And so far, this hand looks a little bit better. We did this just a week ago, but we'll see. Okay, and because this has sat on the skin for at least a minute, we can just remove it now with water. So if you're doing your own nails, I would suggest doing 1 hand at a time. So apply it, wait for a minute or 2, and then just rinse it off with water. Rinse it well. Because if it's left on the skin, this can irritate the skin, like I mentioned. So it has to be neutralized. Now I'm going to do like a little circles. Push the skin back a little bit. And like I said, if you do this on a regular basis, once a week, the skin will eventually recede a little bit, because this is kind of overgrown, because my mom hasn't had a manicure except for the last week for a very long time. So the skin, what happens is it's stuck to the nail plate, and as the nail plate is growing, I think the skin is kind of getting stretched. So you see these little hard pieces of skin, you can actually cut it because they're the little tears. But you see, that's why I like to use electric file, because I can very, very gently remove it. Without cutting. But obviously, if you don't have electric file, which, you know, not everybody obviously has, then you can use this method. And I'm not sure, to be honest with you, if you kind of don't need the electric file. It's a nice tool to have. But if you're doing your own nails, it's a bit of an overkill. Very gently making sure that this part is not done very aggressively because this part of the nail is very soft. That's where the nail is formed, underneath in the matrix area. So you don't want to be pressing too hard. And the ends, see there is like these little flappies, so what I do is I just go with the buffer and kind of lift them up. Okay, and I'm going to just snip that little area here. And you know what, it is what it is. If you can't correct it with the first or second manicure, eventually it will happen. Just have some patience. But you have to be careful that you don't overcut this area, because you cannot correct dry skin or callous skin by cutting it. The skin is callous because there is a lot of usually friction and pressure or damage. So if you cause more damage, you're just going to create more issues, right, in the long run. So the skin needs to be protected, and that's how it's going to correct itself. Same thing with dryness. Like, you can imagine if you have a dry skin on your face, you're not going to file it off. That's not how you fix dry skin. You're going to put cream on, right? You might do light exfoliation, but that's about it. You're not going to like go crazy every day trying to file it off. And that's what people do with the skin around their nails. Just a little crazy. Okay, so the other hand, this one is done for now. Okay, so this hand, we're going to do this with this bit. It's a diamond bit, it's a fine one. And I'm going to use, I said that I'm going to show you, but this is the Melody Susie EFILE that I received from them for a review, and I actually like it. I can't believe I like it, but I like it because I always loved Erica, which I do still. For professional nail file, Erica is a must. But for regular manicures, when you don't have to remove a lot of callus like you would for your feet, this is good. So I use it on number 5, so 5,000 RPM. You can hear that the machine is very, very quiet. And actually I'm going to use it on 6. So now I'm just kind of working quite flat. I'm just trying to remove the cuticle from the nail plate. I'm going to push back that skin a little bit, the living skin. Exfoliate this a little bit. So some people say, you know, I would say even very smart people in the industry, that this actually causes more callus, but it's, you know, the dose is the poison, right? So if you do use this very, very gently, you're not gonna create a callus. If you overdo it, you definitely will, just like with anything else. If you overcut it, or if you cut it, you're gonna create damage. But you can see that this hand has not calloused anymore. It actually looks better than the other hand. So we have a progress. And that's what I find, because I've done this kind of on some of my clients. One hand with a regular manicure, with the regular cuticle remover, and the other one with this. And this side is usually a little bit better. But then again, some people don't have a lot of, you know, even cuticle, a lot of hard skin. So, you know, using the machine is almost an overkill. I just like this for precision, how precise this is and how you can kind of get this little area without having to file surrounding areas. You can get into the little grooves. So I'm not touching the nail here. I'm I'm just removing the cuticle, the skin that's left on the nail plate, and exfoliating some of the hardened skin. Some of it, not all of it, because obviously the skin kind of, your body creates that skin to protect itself, right? To protect the finger. So you can kind of smooth it, but this is not our job to remove it completely. Same thing with the feet. I'm going to put it away for a second. Just try to separate this a little bit, very, very gently. Okay, so this one, I'm going to separate a little bit as well. Again, very, very gently, not to stab that area. And go back to it. Feather light touch, very, very low speed. This one. And actually, for beginners, probably this machine would work, because what happens is, what I really like about the Erica MT20 is that it has a very, very strong motor. So it's not about the speed, but it's about the torque, how strong the motor kind of maintains the speed. So with Erica, it maintains the speed no matter how much you press. With this machine, as a beginner, if the machine starts to slow down, then you kind of know that you're putting too much pressure. So it's not a bad idea to kind of listen to the machine as well. Okay, so this is done, this side. And let's kind of compare. Just gonna kind of go closer to show. Yeah, it does look, this one looks a little bit better, but we'll see. Can't give up yet. There's a dog barking outside. Sometimes if you don't have, obviously, the electric file, you can grab a little file and just kind of very lightly go like this to kind of get that area. You can later do it with a buffer block as well. So I was also thinking about buying the Catrice nail polish, few of them, to show you guys how, and just swatch the whole line. They're not that expensive, so let us know if you're interested. And I'll try to buy it if you would like to see more colors. Okay, now the buffer block. And again, I'm gonna use this fine side. If the buffer block is a little bit too harsh, you can go like this with the file to make it softer. So I'm just going to go over that area a little bit, the cuticle area, just kind of making little circles to push it back again, and not really going crazy over the whole surface of the nail, because you're going to overfile if you're doing this weekly. Using that cream, I'm going to tell my mom to use that cream at night. Would make a big difference for these little calloused areas, the carousel. I'm going to show you now because I'm going to forget in a second. We found possibly a very, very similar product in Poland. that's available in pharmacies at kind of fraction of the price, and I'm using it now on one of my feet, my left foot, and the other one I'm using on my other foot, my right foot, to see how, if it makes a difference. But you know what, it feels pretty much the same, I would say, so that's a good thing. This area is going to be smoother, obviously, because we already used electric file. Gently. Okay, I'm going to show you the carousel and the other one. 1 second. Okay, so this one is the Polish one, and this one is the carousel, available in the States pretty much. This one is made in the US. So it's like a Vaseline, really, kind of, you see. When it's new, it's a little bit thicker, more white. It kind of looks like this. You see, like a Vaseline. And you would use like maybe double of this on your foot. Actually, I'm going to show you exactly how much I use per foot. This much. Like a small amount. And I do 5 kind of dabs. So I do 2 on my heel like this, and 1 on my big toe, and 1 like on the side of my foot, maybe 1, and then just kind of rub it in. And it's, at first it feels greasy, but I put socks on and it soaks in. So this amount is probably good for your both hands. So you just use small amount. Just kind of dab it a little bit like this. Okay, off topic, but very important. So now I'm going to use a prep on these nails. So I don't do cream and oil before I polish. I do that after, because then you still have to remove it. So it's just to remove any oils or anything, any creams that were on the nails, in the water. Make sure you kind of get the free edge as well. You can actually use 99 or 90% alcohol as well. Don't use nail polish remover, because nail polish remover can have some oils, can have some other things to kind of condition the nail, and it might make the polish not stick as well. Okay, we're gonna use this hand because it's nicer. Well, it's easier to paint. And I'm going to show you just the off-white, because I actually tried it on my nail yesterday. So, okay, so these polishes, the Catrice, have amazing brushes. So not only a nice shape here, but also very, very thin over here. So they kind of fit really well. So this makes polishing so much easier. So much easier. I'll show you what it is. Power gel. Okay, it's not a gel, obviously, it's a nail polish. The companies are loving to use that word gel, but it's incorrect and confusing, so I wish they didn't do it. The bottles feel really nice. The packaging is really good. The brushes feel good. They're not very slippery. The lid is nice and kind of ridgy, so it's easy to hold. It's not slippery. Like, I don't like the OPI bottles because they seem very, very slippery, especially the Infinite Shine. The other ones are okay, but I prefer smaller bottle, what do you call them? Lids or something. Yeah, it dries very, very quickly. So we'll see how long this will last. And we're gonna give you an update. So you can actually follow me maybe on Instagram, which is at thesalonlife.ca. Okay, let's just kind of swatch a couple of the nails with the, well, just this one. So this one is Cloudy Illusion, because we're gonna paint with the other one, so you'll see the color. So this one, yeah, has a bit of a flash to it. It's like a pinkish purplish color, and this one doesn't have any flash, so it's just milky, which is very nice too. So we'll do it on 2 nails. It's like a soft white. It's not very ivory, it's not yellowish, it's just softer. And you know what? It's not streaky at all. Very nice. Okay, so this is one coat, and we're gonna start polishing the other hand as this one dries a little bit. Okay, so these ones come off, and now you can open it this way. I was talking to my mom about this color, and this reminds me of a polish that she had like in the 90s. It had a similar kind of opalescent look, like a nudish kind of color. Also not streaky, very easy to apply. So the first coat polish, I suggest using a little bit thinner, that way it dries a little bit better. So not super super thin, but like thinner, on the thinner side. We also have, which we might try next if you're interested, the Eveline or Eveline polishes. We can do a test wear, because you know what, they also have excellent brushes. Sorry, I'm a little bit, okay, so let's make this, put this one aside. So very quickly, I'll show you these ones if you're interested, that we can also use. Next for the next manicure, because they also have amazing brushes, and the brush, you know what, it makes a huge difference. So again, perfect brush, and they seem pretty nice. So let us know in the comment section. Okay, so this is the second coat of the white, off-white color. It is a little off-white. Okay, it's pretty dry. Small amount. I would say amazing formula, absolutely amazing, very good, not a streak in sight. So I'm going to usually I do this with my little wooden stick, but I don't know where the sticks are, so I'm just going to do this very, very lightly, because there's a little bit of polish here in this area. Clean this off. So this is how this looks. Very nice. I'm gonna use this for my toes actually, because I love this kind of look on feet. Okay, so we're gonna remove this and we're gonna polish the rest with this one. And I think I forgot to mention, I should have mentioned that, but I forgot, that we're going to, one of our viewers, I can't remember now, I think it was Susie, mentioned this product, the Essence Express Dry Drops. And this is silicone based with almond oil. So it's nice. We're gonna compare with this one, with the Solar Speed Spray that I usually use. So after it's polished, we will compare both and see if one of them works better and how they work. Someone else mentioned on, I think it was on Instagram, that they, or Facebook, that they feel that when they use those, the speed drops or quick drying drops, that their polish doesn't last as long. And you know what? I kind of heard the same thing, but I don't know if this is the case or not. So I'm gonna try to ask a chemist and see what they have to say. I mean, applying oil, but I don't know. The fact that it's drying quicker might just kind of reduce the how the polish wears. I have no idea why that would happen. I know that the quicker drying top coats sometimes are a little bit shorter lasting, but I'm not sure about the quick drying drops. Interesting texture. Kind of actually reminds me, the color maybe not, but the texture reminds me of the Essence Basecoat. Like little textured. Let's see how this one is. Okay, pretty dry. Yeah, brush is amazing. Makes your job so much easier. So I still have a little bit left. I'm gonna try to use this. Okay. So this goes on the side. And go back to this one. Yeah, this is dry. So I like to dry kind of as much as I can, the first coat of polish. So the second coat, I would say it's pretty opaque actually. More opaque than the white one. And they kind of describe these colors as brightening. So we'll see how it looks once it's polished. And I'm gonna start with these ones because these ones are still a little wet. And you can see that there is a difference in texture. So without touching them, you can see that this is smoother because this one still has a lot of solvent, so it's very plump. Once the solvents evaporate, then you see that the texture is much, there's more texture to it, so the surface has more texture. That kind of indicates that the polish is drier. But I see that there is still ridges visible. So if you have kind of ridgy nails and if this bothers you, then I would suggest using some kind of a base coat underneath or like a ridge filler. By the way, I tried to get the Essence ridge filler and I couldn't find it yet. So I'm actually curious how that product is. So I'm gonna keep looking for it. And I think Essence and Catrice, someone had told me that it's the same company that makes them both. And this thumb. We're gonna give it a minute for them to dry a little bit, and then we're gonna do the top coat. And apparently this is supposed to last 7 days without a top coat. But you know what? They're never as shiny, because I actually applied some of it on my nail and it looked okay, but with the top coat it was much more shiny. So I guess if you're in like a huge hurry, maybe you can skip it, but it's better not to. Okay, so we're gonna give it a minute and we'll be right back. Okay, let's see. Okay, so it's still kind of dentable, but it's been 2 minutes. So we'll see how the top coat applies. A little bit closer. So this one has like a medium consistency. It's not very liquidy, it's not very thick. It applies really well. Sometimes top coat creates, they create little bubbles, but so far I'm not seeing any. We'll see how it looks when it's dry. Okay, so it doesn't drag if you have to kind of fix something. It's not setting up too fast. Because I think with the essence was drying so fast that if you even like capped the free edge, it was not kind of joining with the rest of the polish. Like it was kind of setting up very, very fast. There's a couple bubbles here, and I'm trying to, and always to get the bubbles out, you want to do like a full stroke. You don't want to be doing kind of like these kind of movements. Okay, it's also important that you don't introduce the bubbles into the polish by like kind of smashing the brush into the bottle, because that creates a mess. So when you pick up the polish, you kind of do it lightly. Then you pick it up, like you don't go kind of like this, because that will make bubbles. Okay, did I cap the free edge? Probably not. All right. Okay, so we're gonna do the drops maybe on this hand and the spray on the other one, and we'll see. So I'm going to kind of go this way. So the thing with drops is that they kind of don't cover the whole polish. So you kind of have to almost like drop it from here down. So it covers the whole nail, but it doesn't really. But it looks nice on the skin. So it kind of hides all the dryness, as you can see. So, because like I said, it has almond oil and it has silicone. So I'm gonna just drop here. Yeah, so what you can do is, yeah, put a little bit around the edges. So this kind of will, see, go around the edges and then one here. Okay, but, you know, the price, well, this one is actually pretty inexpensive. I can't remember how much it was, but I don't know, maybe €3 or something like that, maybe less. I'm gonna put it in the description box later. So this is much bigger. So this is ½ an ounce probably. Yeah, 8 mils, and this is 118 mils. But then again, with this one, you're gonna kind of spray a lot of it around the nails as well. But I find it covers it better, you see? But again, this one is not as available. Okay, so this is 15 minutes later, 10-15 minutes. I kind of forgot to count. And let's see. They still kind of feel, they don't feel tacky, but they feel a little soft, yeah. And there's a little bit of bubbles. I'm not sure if you can see this. So I don't know if this is from the quick dry spray or the top coat by itself did that. We'll see. Yeah, quite a lot of bubbles here. Interesting. So I'm gonna do a test and see without the quick drying drops how the surface is. So, and we're gonna take a picture tomorrow once this dries completely. Other than that, the color is beautiful, looks really good, but the bubbles are a little visible right now, but maybe it will even out. So I'll take a picture tomorrow and I will post it on Instagram, okay? So thank you so much for watching, bye.